Okay, I read the gospel. Nicodemus came in and asked him a simple question. Something, I don't have it here, but we know you're from heaven. And then he started going, this born again, and water and spirit. And if I were Nicodemus, I imagine, really, I just asked simple things. He thought he knew what he thought he knew. And then he came in and answered it. Okay, it did remind me of this modern physics class I took many years ago. And I won't tell too many stories today, really. But it was a modern physics class, and some guy, in this modern physics class, you have to understand, there was 12 people, 11 geeky guys and one girl. Okay, that's how all the upper level physics classes were. And they were all pretending they weren't geeks, but we all were. And Dr. Deck he came in one day, and some said, I have a simple question about the uncertainty principle. Uncertainty principle is a kind of esoteric principle known to physicists, and no one else cares about it. And Dr. Deck said, I have an answer. And he went for the next period, he derived from nothing. It was just like a simple equation of nothing. The size of an atom, size of a molecule, size of a river, size of a mountain, size of the world, size of the sun, size of the universe. We all stood there going, whoa. We had no idea. We asked a simple question, and it degenerated into something incredibly complicated, and that's what Nicodemus felt like. Because it was very simple and ended up very complicated. He starts talking about water and spirit, born again, and honestly, I'm not explaining that because I don't understand it either. That's for someone smarter than me to explain another Sunday. Like you, okay. Also, this is also Trinity Sunday, and Pastor Mark English asked me how I was going to handle that, and I said I'm not, because there's no way I can handle Trinity. It's too out there for me. I'll go to simple things, which I can do. Today's Graduate Sunday. There's a number of graduates here, and I'm not sure what's going through your mind right now because you actually don't graduate for another 3 hours or 4 hours, depending how long the speaker talks, and I promise I won't talk too long so you get there. But some of you might feel like Nicodemus. You feel like you knew a lot. On the other hand, you probably know that you don't know a lot. But what you don't know is you don't know how much you don't know. I mean, really, you have no idea how much you don't know. You know you don't know everything. You're worried about, when I go to school, which lunch line do I get? Is there a lunch line? Do I get a tray or is it on a plate? Do I get extras or can I just get the dippy part of the eggs and throw the rest away? Who do I sit with at lunch? Where do I go? What if I can't find my class? All those things. Yeah, you know you don't know that. But what you don't know is so many other things. And Nicodemus didn't know that either. So what are you going to do? This is the part where the commencement speaker says, follow your dream. I don't have a dream. I don't know what it is. I mean, not everyone knows what it is. Becca knows where she's going. She's going to Adelphi College or University? University on Long Island, New York, getting a bachelor's in acting?
Maybe.
Something like that, right? Lena is going to OSU, majoring in biology. And research, maybe. Doctor, maybe. She's not sure. Austin, who can't be with us, is going to Terra, learning heating and air conditioning. Okay, are these dreams or are they just something to do? Goals, choices. You know, most grads don't know what their dream is. You know, Becca is, I think, pretty sure she's going to be a performer. She's pretty confident of that. Lena really has no idea. And for every Becca, there's probably 6 Lenas, realistically. You know, I mean, a lot of us don't know what our dream is. You know, and there's, you know, what are you going to do with yourself? There's, what is your dream? Now, there's more to your dream than your job. You know, there's more to your life than making money, and there is more than that. One girl once told me that her dream was to save someone's life. How cool was that? It has nothing to do with making money. It has nothing to do with the job. She wanted to save someone's life. And I like that. Now, I want all of you to think for a minute what your dream is. Now, I'm not going to ask you to write it down, but I'm going to ask you to think it to me, and I will feel it. Okay? I do this. I do this in class all the time. Mrs. Sable has these things that you click on so you know who's doing A. No, I can just feel it. Okay? So when I say bazinga, okay, in 10 words or less, I want you to tell me what your dream is. It can be serious. It can be a dream you've never told anyone. I promise I won't tell. All right? It can be how you're going to change the world. It can be how are you going to live your last years? I don't know. Tell me what your dream is, okay? When I say bazinga, are you ready? I'll give you about 5 seconds to think about it. Bazinga.
I want to help people enjoy life.
That one, I heard. Did you all hear that one? I heard that one, right, yeah. I like that one. The rest of you thinking? Adam, that doesn't count, right? Yeah. Okay, now, wait a minute. There's still about 4 who haven't said anything. Come on, ready, go. Come on. Okay, I got it. All right, I like that one. I really like that one. The thing is, there's 70-some people in this room. A lot of you had dreams. Some of you didn't. You couldn't put it in 10 words. You didn't know what your dream was. Is that all right? Yeah, of course it's all right. I'm not going to condemn you because you don't have a dream. Should you have a dream? Or a plan? Or a choice? I don't know. A lot of people do, but a lot of you did not. Some were very, very good. Some of them I wondered about. Okay, I won't tell you who, but someone says they're going to be MVP in the NBA. Now, really, okay, there's no one here who's going to be in the NBA, I don't think. I could be wrong. Looking around. Steve, you're too old. Mary. It's Mary Welch. She's the one who said it. That is probably not a realistic dream, I'm guessing. You may not have a dream, but one may be thrust on you. Watch for it. Watch for it. As Christians, we would want a dream or a plan that somehow pleases God. Now, does God have a plan? I know you read that he always has a plan for our life. I agree with that, but I don't really think he's got it mapped us out on a roadmap. We can argue theology all day, but he will, if you listen, make a dream to you. First slide, Scott. This is part of the song, next one, I guess, that comes after this sermon. Sometimes your calling comes in a dream. Sometimes it comes in the Spirit's breeze. You reach for the deepest hope in me and call out for the things of eternity. I like that, okay? Sometimes you're calling in a dream, in a Spirit's breeze, whatever that is. The point is, you don't always know when God's calling you, but you have to watch for it. Maybe it's not a dream. Maybe it's more of a purpose. Maybe dream is the wrong word. It sounds so, I have a dream. It sounds so important. We all can't have hugely important lives, but we can be important. So maybe a purpose is a better word for it. Sometimes your dream picks you. When I went to college, I was going to be a teacher. That was my plan for all the wrong reasons. It looked easy. You got 3 months off, work 6 hours a day. I had teachers who read a book while I was taking a test. I thought, I want some of that. It sounds pretty easy. I didn't know everything else, but I went to school and I knew a girl, and I had one date with her. And no, it's not Mary. Another girl, and she was in elementary education. She says, don't be a teacher. There's no jobs and doesn't pay any money. I said, okay. And really, that was it. I'm not going to be a teacher. So I went to business. Yeah, that was right. That was horrible. Engineering, it wasn't a bad fit. I bounced around, and as I was about to graduate, my advisor called me and said, you don't have a major, you're going nowhere. I said, yeah, that's true. And that is true. And so anyway, I got a degree, and I said, I should be a teacher. That's what I wanted to be. And so I went back 5 years, which of course, if I'd done it in 4, I'd be retired right now, just thinking about that one. But I got 1 more year to go. But it kind of chose me. And so I became a teacher and ended up at Eastwood of all places. It was my last choice, honestly. But I was here, and I didn't realize till after that was my dream. I just didn't know it. I didn't know that teaching was what I want to do. And looking back, I couldn't imagine I've done anything else. Oh, I complained and whined about it. Sure I did. That's what teachers do. All right, we complain and we whine. It's part of our DNA, I think. But it is what I should have done. And whether I was the best teacher or the worst teacher, it was my thing. And I didn't choose that. It chose me. Pastor, how do you wear these things? Okay. Maybe your dream is exactly what you think it's going to be. Maybe it is acting. Maybe 20 years from now, she'll be a famous actress or a good actress, and those aren't always the same things. Maybe Lean will be doctor finding the cure for cancer. Who knows? We don't know. But whatever you're doing, you can do those things and honor God at the same time. Doesn't mean you have to be a preacher or a missionary. There's plenty of room in the world for plumbers, doctors, actors, etc. There was a doorman in New York, some high-rise, and every day, Monday through Friday, 7 to 3, whatever his hours were, he opened the door. That's all he did. And then closed it. Said, hello, Mrs. Smith. Hello, Mr. Jones. That's what he did. On Sunday morning, he went to church. Saturday morning, he worked at the soup kitchen every Saturday. Okay? His dream wasn't his job, but his life served God. His life honored God. There's lots of ways you can do that. When you look for your dream, it is very tempting to look for selfish things. What's going to make me the most money? What's going to make me the most fame? And those things are fleeting. I mean, if Lena becomes a doctor, and I have no idea, and you don't either, she's got the brains for it, I know that. I would hope she doesn't do it for the money. And if she becomes an actress, I hope it's not so all the adoring fans. Because those are fleeting. Those are fleeting. If you talk to any actor, it says, well, that's great, but after a while, it's about your craft. I watched a movie from 1987 with Michael J. Fox and Joan Jett in it. It was a great movie called Light of Day. And one thing I remember, she was a rocker, which she was in real life too, but the I Love Rock and Roll fame, that girl, And they were talking about being rock stars. She goes, it's not about rock stars. It's not about the limos. It's not about the fans. It's about the music. That's what it is. I like that. It's about her craft. I'm told that Adele, she's as famous as can be. She hates that. It's the music with her. And that's a great goal. Now, are you serving God? Well, there's a lot of ways you can. You don't have to. If you're a plumber, it doesn't mean you're going to preach to everybody you go there. You still honor God in your work and in your personal life. That's certainly possible. There's a guy in town who fixes bikes. Okay, that's what he does in retirement. I'm sure he doesn't look at that he's serving God. Actually, I don't know. Maybe he is. But look what he's doing for us. There's no place to get your bike fixed here. You go to Dave, and he'll tell you what's wrong with it. And he'll fix it for a beer or two or nothing, And, and he's serving the community, whether he realizes it or not. He's doing a service here. It's a great thing. And maybe your dream is private. Maybe nobody knows what it is. And that's okay too. We all have thoughts that no one except us and God knows. And maybe your dream seems so stupid or foolish or silly to you that you're not going to share with anyone, even your children, your wife, your husband, whatever. That's okay. A dream's a dream. But watch for it. It may never happen to you, and that's all right too. I mean, like I said, watch for how God's going to work with you. And dream is probably too big a word. A plan or a purpose is probably better. But what if God does choose you? I remember in the 4th grade, we made a piñata. And I remember Mrs. Ritchie said, okay, you hit it, but don't break it. You hit it, don't break it. You hit it, don't break it. You hit it, break it. No. Then she changed it around, so I was the one who hit it and broke it. And I still remember that. It was 1964, and I still remember that. And I thought, Mrs. Ritchie chose me, okay, to break the piñata. Now, next slide. From the lesson, I heard the voice of the Lord saying, whom shall I send? Who will go for us? And I said, here I am, Lord. Send me. How cool is that? For God to choose you to do some of his work. I mean, it was really cool breaking the piñata, but it doesn't rate up there with doing God's work. I would love that. The trouble is, it's just me. I'm not good enough to do God's work. I know a lot of you are thinking, I'm not good enough to do God's work. Scott, next one. Also from the song we're singing, but I'm a man of dust and stains. It's not a good thing. You move in me so I can say, here I am, Lord. Send me. Let him work with you. He'll help you. He will, but stay open to it. So follow your dream. No, because there's the other thing you got the Ron Howard effect. Ron Howard is also known as and Richie. Yeah, okay, you know him. And he was a child actor, 8 years on Andy Griffith, and then he was Richie Cunningham, and he was in American Graffiti and a couple other things. He always wanted to be an actor all his life. 20 years of it. Well, he understood later that really wasn't his calling. His calling was as director, producer, that I really don't know the difference. But he's one of the most respected directors and producers in the world, and that's what he decided his dream was. Now, you have to allow your dream to change. But here's the tricky part, and I don't have any answer for this. There's a difference between changing a dream and just settling. And I don't know how to make sure you're changing your dream and not just settling. I know that you're going to deal with trusted people. You're going to pray a lot and say, God, is this what you want me to do? I mean, sometimes you will have to settle for something you don't want. You know, the realities of life, it gets in the way. And you may want to do this, but now I got to get this job because it pays the bills. You have no choice. And, you know, if that's the case, you will try to realize a dream another way. Like I said, it isn't always in your occupation. But I do know people who look back and say, I settled. I didn't do what I want to do. And I regret that. Don't do that. Don't do that, whether it's in your job, whether it's in any part of your life. Don't do that. Okay? And it's a difficult thing to say. Yeah, I know they'll say, if you want to be in the NBA, just keep practicing. No, I'm not going to make the NBA. I'm too old. I'm too short. I can't jump. I can't dribble. Even when I was 17, I couldn't do any of those things either. It's not going to happen. I didn't settle by not being in the NBA. By the way, it wasn't the NBA, it was the NFL. I was going to be an NFL player, yeah. So I played 7th grade football. About getting me in. If you have to settle in one area, you may have to, but make up for it in another. Remember, keep God somehow in the center of your life. Make sure you honor him one way or another. Be prepared for his plan. Now, some of you may ask, why don't I have to do what God wants me to do? I know it's a church and we're all supposed to be trying to serve God, but I also understand I've been sitting there before. I'm going, just get through the sermon. I want to go home. And, you know, there's all levels of faith in here. And why should my plan, my goal, my dream have to follow God? Scott? Because of that. For God so loved the world that he gave his only son, that whoever believes in him shall not perish, but have eternal life. It's the number one most Googled, most requested, most memorized, and any other way, most well-known Bible verse there is. Okay, maybe it's because the guy with a colored wig at the sporting events, but it's there, but it's also because what it says. Now, if you don't believe that, then do what you want. But if you believe that, or you're like a lot of people, yeah, I really want to believe that, God made a sacrifice for us. I'm not asking you to make a sacrifice. I'm just asking you to keep it in your plans. You're going to want to honor what he did for you. And you're going to want to pay it back is probably the wrong word, but I guess I'll just leave it at honor it. But once you know what that is, and you're sure you know, embrace it. Okay, Lena, someday you're going to know, wherever she went to, you're going to know. And Becca, you're going to be sure. I know I have ideas what you're going to do. I'm not sure they're the same as yours. But don't be afraid of failure, because you're going to fail. You're going to fail over and over and over again. Look at any person who is pleased with his life, and no matter what, you have any failures? Oh yeah, millions of them. It's going to happen. It happens to all of us. But you don't give up. God will help you through those failures. Get back on the horse, as they say, and go for the dream again. Don't give up. Too many people do, because it's scary to start back. Once you've been kicked in the teeth, put down, humiliated, or just plain lost. Really? I got to get back and do it again? Yeah, you do. If you're sure that's what you want to do, and that's what God wants you to do it again. And try again and again. And ask for God's help. That's what faith's about. It's not just blind faith. It's not positive thinking. I think I can. A little engine that could. It's faith in God. Not faith in the force is with you. It's faith in God, who is someone you trust, who has created us and is a benevolent God, has helped us all the way. Put your faith in him, and when you fail, get back up and do it again. You know, we all want to be needed. We all want to be important. We all want to be chosen. What would be cooler than God looking around saying, whom shall I send? Here I am, Lord. Send me. And he says, you got it. Nothing could be cooler. Amen.